Welcome to the Year 4 lesson for 5 times tables. In this lesson I'm learning my 5 times tables. Let's start by going down to our hundreds board and circling all the numbers that are on our 5 times tables. So we start at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 and 50. Now we could go on further, but I'm stopping at 50 because 5 times 10 equals 50. So now that we've circled all our answers, you can probably spot a bit of a pattern here. All of the answers to our 5 times tables are either ending in 0, which you can see in this column here, they're all tidy numbers, or they're ending in a 5, which you can see in this column here. So when you're trying to work out the answer to your 5 times tables, you know it's either going to end in a 0 or a 5. Let's see if there's any other patterns that can help us with our 5 times tables. Well, you can see here I've got all my 10 times tables written out, and over here I've got all my 5 times tables written out. And what we're going to do is see if there's a pattern between these two sets of tables. Well, I know 10 times 2 is 20, and 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 3 is 30, and 5 times 3 is 15. 10 times 4 is 40, and 5 times 4 is 20. Can you spot a pattern between the answer to your 10 times tables and the answer to your 5 times tables? Let's try a couple more. 10 times 5 is 50, and 5 times 5 is 25, and 10 times 6 is 60, and 5 times 6 is 30. Well, hopefully you've spotted that the answer to your 5 times tables are half as big as the answer to your 10 times tables. Well, this might be a good point to stop the video and write out the rest of your 10 times tables and write out the rest of your 5 times tables and see if you can put in the answers. So hopefully your answers look like this. Now let's find out why the answers to our 5 times tables are half as big as the answers to our 10 times tables. Well, let's start with this question here. We'll do 10 times 4. And we know from our earlier lessons that 10 times 4 means I need 10 groups with 4 counters in each group. So I'm going to draw out my 10 groups now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And inside those groups I need my 4 counters. And if you added all of those up or used your multiplication, you'd know that 10 times 4 is 40. Now let's see what 5 times 4 looks like. 5 times 4. Well, we know 5 times 4 means 5 groups of 4. So if I come over here, that means it's half of the groups. Here are my 5 groups, and there's 4 in each of them. So if I only have half as many groups, my answer is going to be half as big. So instead of being 40, it's going to be 20. Let's have a think about the important things to remember from this lesson. Well, we learnt that the answer to our 5 times tables always ends in either a 0 or a 5. And we also learnt that the answers to our 5 times tables are half as big as the answers to our 10 times tables. You can find the activity sheet that goes with this lesson in the Teacher Tools Multiplication and Division book from the White Book collection.